Hello, I'm Jennifer with Jennifer Decorates, and today I have got some easy tips on how to create a beautiful present. So when the holiday season begins, I gather all my gift wrapping supplies and I keep them in one spot, from tape, ribbon, greenery, little sprigs, all kinds of things. Now, let me tell you though, to be honest, I start out totally neat. By the time I'm doing my last few presents, this is a Mod Podge of a mess. But if you start out neat, it helps. So before we get to the really fun part of adding all the embellishments to a present, I want to give you just a few tips on how to wrap your present correctly. Every year I buy my paper from the same place, and that's Hobby Lobby, because I get it half off, and on the inside it has this grid line which really helps me wrap a present. Okay. One of the things that people do wrong is they get too much paper on the ends of the present. So you want just enough to cover it. Ends, and you fold your paper down, and I always add a piece of tape right there. Then we fold in like so, and tape that, and you're good. One of my other tricks is once I turn the present over, I take my fingers and I just crease the edges, and it just gives it a really crisp look. Okay, now for the fun part, adding ribbon and embellishments. Let me show you one of the ways that I find it really easy to add ribbon to a package, and that is because I use tulle instead of ribbon. And it's cheaper, and I find it a lot easier. So let me show you how I do this. Now the tulle I'm using for this package, it's pretty wide, but it is going to make a beautiful bow. So you tuck it under your package, and you come up, and I kind of guess at where I'm gonna cut it off. With tulle, because it's so inexpensive, I'm not as picky about it as I am some of my other ribbon that I pay a lot more for. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make two bows. So I'm gonna come so easy, like tying your shoes. And I'm gonna make a bow, like so. And don't worry about fluffing it yet. And I'm gonna repeat it on the next side. Now I pulled the ribbon on the other side, and when you come to the top, tuck under the first bow you made on both sides, like so. Whoops. All right, and guess what? You're just gonna make another bow. But do it tight, like so. That's what makes a pretty bow. All right, now that I've got that finished, all you have to do is spread out each loop, and I do try to keep them even. Makes for a prettier finished bow. And then I'll trim the ends like so. Just a little bit on that one. And voila, I'm done. Okay, we have a special guest. This is not Molly, this is Emma. She's cold, she needs in my lap. So, let's go on. While I was perusing the craft aisle for some really different ideas, I found this yarn that ladies use to make scarves, and thought that would make a beautiful ribbon if I used white paper. How beautiful does that look? You do the same thing we did with the mesh. You just make one bow, flip it over, make another bow, and then be sure to spread the yarn out so you can see the beautiful details. Here's another kind of a country Christmas idea. These little wreaths come in about a package of 6. What I did was I hot glued a little greenery and some little red berries, and it made an adorable package. Here I've got a package for my dad, so I wanted to make it a little more masculine. I put it in some plaid paper, and I want to show you how to add satin ribbon. I love satin ribbon because it's shiny and beautiful on both sides and very elegant. So what you want to do is get a pretty long piece, flip it over. You're going to start on the top, the pretty part of your package, and then underneath, what we're going to do to continue one piece, you're going to wrap it under like so, and then we're going to head the other direction. So you flip it back over, make sure you've got enough to make that bow, and then straighten it out, and make a beautiful bow in the middle. And then trim your ends. If you don't want to trim your tail at an angle, there's another fun way, and that's you fold your ribbon in half, and you're still going to cut it at an angle again, but then when you open it up, beautiful. Now that I'm finished with the bow, I like to add a little bit of greenery, and you can just tuck it in. You can also hot glue it in, but if you're working with little munchkins or you just don't want to take a chance on burning your fingers, this is poster tack. You can get just a really small piece and put it on a piece of that greenery. Tuck it right under the bow where you don't see it. Press it down and press your bow down, and it will stay. All right, for the last idea, I used tulle again, except I did not make a bow. I just tied it in a knot and trimmed it. This one's going to be really elegant for mom's, mother-in-law's, hint, hint. My daughter-in-law's watching this. And I'm going to add satin over the top of the tulle. And I'm going to come under that tulle like we did before. There we go. Kind of pull up on it. And then I'm going to cut my tails. All right, here's the fun thing you can add. The little berries. I'm going to do white and silver. And here's the thing, you don't really have to clip these because I just pulled down on them, and it usually pulls them in a great, just the great amount of length I need right there. And I'm going to tuck that under and pull it up. I'm going to do a silver. And if they get a little long, just kind of pinch it up. Tuck that under, like so. I hot glue gunned 2 silver leaves. Now the tulle and the satin ribbon I used are really, really soft gray. And on this white paper, this looks stunning. This will get you major brownie points. Okay, for my last present, I did the same thing, 2 bows. And let me tell you, when you do that, you pull it across to make one bow, pull it across to make the other bow. If your ribbon's too thick, it is gonna look like a big knot in the middle, and that will not look good. So you wanna use thinner ribbon. And I bought a little box of shatterproof ornaments, I think for like $1.50, and I hot glued them onto the package. I can feel my face glittering. Is it glittering? And then other little shimmery things, and a gift tag that is silver and complements the ornament. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you have a really, really happy holiday. Well, that is how I wrap yes, me.